welcome to the show, The Banter, where we discuss topical issues, things that are trending, that are happening around the world, and even here in Nigeria. And my name is Israel Adeyemi. I'm standing in for Grace today, and we promise to be an exciting show to entertain you. Okay, so I'm not alone on the show today. I have my co-banters and banterers on the show. So let me start from my far right. Juvi, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm good. It gives me such an incalculable pleasure to be here. You know how it is. I love doing
Juvi,
this.
when are you going to calculate this incalculable?
You just got... Yeah, all right.
It's nice having you on the show.
You know
it's nice having you on the show. The lights.
Yeah.
Put on the lights.
It's a pleasure to be on a show whereby it's entertaining, it's educative, and it's also informative. My honors.
You're welcome. Succulent babe. Amaka.
Baby.
Amaka.
It's a baby girl for life. I'm so happy to be seated among this huge.
Wow, please, what's the reason behind this color?
I wanted to dress seductive today.
Oh.
But I got it all wrong.
Please, how many of us are? No. Okay,
Don't do that.
okay.
Don't
We're gonna do that after the show.
embarrass me.
We're gonna do that after the show.
Don't do that. Don't embarrass me.
Okay, Fortune, Zika. We call you Zika. So tell us, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine. It's an honor to be on the show today. With my G.
You adopted G. Okay, guys. So if you're ready, then we are ready. So the first topic we'll be discussing today, it's about a quote or a write-up, or I don't know, on Instagram about Davido. It has been debunked that this is false, this is wrong, this is untrue. But the angle we're coming out from is the person was actually advising Davido that they should have allowed Chioma to rest and mourn for some time. Now, the conversation today will be, how long should you mourn a loved one, considering the impact it has on your mental health, on your physical appearance, and everything that has to do with you? Let me quickly make a little bit of explanation on the story. Okay, so this person, Orienta Honor, actually tagged Davido and on the particular story that the picture of Davido and Chioma in the hospital giving birth, which we have identified as false. So he now said, let me read it. He said, OBO, it is unwise welcoming twins when it is not even up to 1 year Ifeanyi died. More unwise impregnating Chioma amidst sorrow, exactly 4 months after Ifeanyi death. He said, but you claim to love the boy, learn priority, control, learn priority. Now, the conversation, like I have said, is how long should you mourn your loved one that has passed? How long do you mourn? So let's start with Juvi. Juvi, some people think about their loved ones most of the time, and maybe when anything happens for them, it's difficult for them to stop thinking. They want to think, they want to overthink without looking at the adverse effect it has on their health. What do you have to say to this?
Well, the time you spend, everyone has got. I think it's more of a personal thing. What time you spend, how long you take to mourn. Sometimes there are cultural dimensions to it. So maybe with the Igbos it's quite different, the Yorubas is quite different, the Hausas, in some cultures, ladies, when they lose loved one, child or husband, they don't come out in public places. They are within closed doors to do the mourning. And sometimes they see for 3 months, for 2 months, and you're expected to get back into, but it's usually done in the presence of loved ones to encourage you, and so that you can begin to get back into life. Some don't handle it very well. They break down into depression, and some into some mental states. And so I think there is not a specific time, all right? But at least you should be allowed to cry, to really grieve, and don't grieve for too long, because life must continue, all right? Life must continue. I remember a case of David and his wife, and when the wife lost the child, he comforted his wife. And so, even if that story was, you had to comfort, and one of it is the conjugal thing, you have to come in that. So, if the story was true, which well, we found not to be, one of the ways a man will comfort his wife is, entering into hallelujah.
Okay, so Delight, do you agree with this guy that Davido should have given Chioma the time to mourn, that it is too early?
Well, to me, mourning is a process for someone to be able to arrange himself to the new situation of what this present circumstance
to come to the reality of not having that person
So,
again.
since it's in that definition, I feel that mourning should be an individual experience. That is, there is no general term for it or general period for how long someone should mourn. So it depends on how well the person is able to cope with the present reality. So if someone who is able to cope with, okay, the loss of a loved one in maybe 2 weeks, that is, after all the whole crying and all the whole social withdrawal, is able to come back to reality and say, okay, I have to move on and move forward, is able to go through that process in 2 weeks, fine. He can move on with his life.
2 weeks?
Yes, but
okay.
If it's someone who cannot deal with it, and is
would
taking...
you not call that a disrespect to the dead if you say, okay, 2 weeks, because you can cope, you now want to quickly move on? Would you call that a disrespect?
There's no principle or universal principle or guidelines that say, okay, this is disrespect, this is not respect. Okay. Do you get? Okay. So it depends on how you see the person you lost. So it now depends on what you feel is right and what you think or feel the person would have advised you
to do. Okay, okay, thank you very much. Okay, Zika, let me bring the conversation to you. Do you think that the longer you mourn, the better for the person? I mean, the time you used to you mourn for a dead person, do you think the longer the duration or the time, the better for you?
Well, it all depends on I think you should do what works for you best. Because let's remember that our mental health is involved in this kind of thing. So just do what works for you. If you can cope, or if you have the strength of mourning long, like Davido and Chioma now, if this period is what they can do, it is better for it works for them. They feel this works for them. Nobody has a right to. It's not your child. Nobody has a right to get into maybe this will be a way to make her forget. You get that kind of thing. So mourning for long does not determine whether you love the child or not. It does not.
Okay, so let's bring it back to Succulent, because I know ladies are emotional. Most time they are emotional. So to you, do you have any duration in mind? Maybe because either we like it or not, these things happen. You understand, it happens. Do you have any what is the most important to you? Is it the time you use in money or the steps you take while you're mourning? Let's put it that way.
I feel it's two ways. Okay. As he mentioned, that mourning is called traditional mode of mourning. Okay. There's a particular tribe where the woman has to mourn for a very long period of time. You have to wear white or you wear black just to mourn your husband. You have to stay indoors. But when you say the step, for me, it will be the step, not the time.
Not the time.
Because you have to. The person is gone. You can't bring the person back. Now, me that is still living, I have to take care of my mental health. I have to take care of my well-being. Because if I keep mourning, I'll be sick. And if I'm sick, there are times where you have to mourn, and you mourn to the extent where you start seeing the dead person.
Yes. It
affects your mental, and then you want to isolate yourself from people. You don't want to talk. You don't want to leave. You start thinking of so many.
Start thinking irrationally.
So I feel it's a step. How you tend to overcome it. You have to see the good side of life. Okay,
thank you very much for that submission, and that will take us to another angle of the story. Now, people mourn differently. Some people, when they lose their loved ones, the best thing for them, what they think they can do best is maybe to social withdrawal. They don't attend parties. They don't even go to religious gatherings. That's the way they mourn. Why some people, the way they mourn is to get the most beautiful picture of that person and put online. Now, to you, Delight, do you think we should mourn differently, Or do you think it is disrespect for some people to say, okay, the way I mourn is to be online all the time? What's your view about this? Because you've seen this playing out in the society.
Well, it still boils down to a question: why does mourning exist in the first place? And since that question has come up in my mind, I feel that mourning is just a process whereby someone has to go through because you've lost something that is dear to you or someone who's dear to you. And as human beings, we have to try and adapt to the current situation. So the period or the process of where you are not your full self is that process whereby it's called mourning. And to me, it shouldn't be the same for everybody. They are the same way you have different ways of learning new skills, learning things. It's the same way everybody has its own different process of mourning or different action the person takes to mourn. Like you said, some people can mourn by replacing.
Yes.
Some people can mourn by longer of time forgetting and so on and so forth. So they are different. We are not all the same. We are different human beings. We have different way we deal with our emotions. So we are not wired in one pattern.
Okay. We are not wired in one pattern. Juvie, I remember vividly when the music industry in Nigeria lost somebody, and we see some people immediately they are the first person to break the news online. In fact, without the family breaking the news, and people came for that particular person that time. Why must you be the first person? And some people were saying that's the way she loves to mourn people. Do you think there should be a particular way, or should we criticize people who mourn by announcement immediately without even seeking the counsel of maybe the parents or the family?
I think the advent of the social media has made that sometimes we break some rules unbeknown to us. So mourning is something personal. I don't think it would be respectful to the memory of the dead if someone that doesn't really belong to the family goes out to talk about it, especially the immediate family are not spoken about it. You know, you want to respect. If they choose not to talk about it, leave them alone. I mean, just respect their peace of mind. Dealing with the loss of a loved one, whether it's a father, a mother, a brother, I mean, a son, your first child, sometimes it tells differently on different people, they interpret it differently. And so, going out to announce the question is who sent you? No, now I take affect you. I they run you.
Yes. I think I get that one. Let me go to Succulent Bee. We've seen people attacking a lot of people when they do this kind of thing, when they announce it. And we've seen Nigerians, we've seen people online telling them, why didn't he say it? She didn't even come online to say anything. Because this didn't affect that person directly, and people expect immediately to come online and talk about it rather than allowing somebody maybe outside to say it. Now, would you say that we have to define, because you said it the other time, that it depends on your individual self. Should you think about your individual self or what the society will say, especially when we are dealing with a celebrity?
Who cares what the society says? We are talking about money. You lost someone dear to you. Why should you consider what the society will say, whether you post
but you know that this
picture or not?
Let me paint this scenario. Recently in Nigeria, we lost Mohbad, and even people that don't know him while he was alive took to Instagram and to other social media platforms to send condolences and even raise money. Now, if the death was not announced on social media, how would they have raised such money and such awareness and fight for justice? You get? So when you are saying that what concerns the society, for me, I think to an extent, if this person is a celebrity, I think it concerns the society because we are the one consuming what they bring out. Don't you think?
No, you're forgetting something, that there's also a controversy surrounding
that. Okay.
So you look at it, now you brought it out on social media, people are using it now as, you check on YouTube now, is the dead. People are using it to even grow their page.
And some people don't forget that some people may send money just so that the public will know that they are contributing,
It may
and
not
they
be
will also
audio,
get
it may not be
relevance.
audio money.
Yeah.
It may not even be real. It may
No,
be
let's
audio.
just say the money is real. Some people will just want it as, okay, people know that, oh, this person is relevant, he has the money.
Few days ago, I don't know how many of you remember, General Gowon was supposedly, there was a news that he had passed, and the family had to come out to debunk that he's, things like that.
And then the controversy surrounding it also was that he hadn't passed, but they said the whole thing was just a mess.
Okay, I think I understand from your own perspective. Now, Zika. So now, if such a person like that died and it wasn't posted by somebody so close, she posted it, right? Okay, she posted it. I'm being told by my producer that she posted. Okay, she posted that thing, and people were saying, "Why must you run to post it?" You understand? Why must you run? Why can't you take your time? Do you believe that if something like that happens, they should have taken their time without?
Like I said, it is something. It's a choice. It's what you feel works for you best. Some people feel instead of dying in silence, I should come out and talk. Maybe I'll see people to talk. And some people feel, okay, I'll keep to myself and kill it alone. So it's a choice. If that was the best way for her to let that go, then I didn't see what she did as wrong. But my concern is, let's stop dragging people. I'm talking on Mohbad now.
Okay.
Let's stop dragging people when there is no concrete evidence.
Okay.
You know, I can relate to what he said. You know, everybody has their own intention of why they do something. It could be like a means of passing a message.
Yes, and
that
in
you
fact,
cannot come out to say.
Some
But
people
you're
might
like,
be chasing
oh,
clouds.
see you.
Some people want to
He's
grow their
dead now.
audience. I
He's
think
dead now.
I think
See
the
you.
reason
That kind of thing.
why that conversation came out on why she came out to post at once was because people expected that if they were actually husbands and wife, that at least hearing the news immediately you would have broken down, cried,
because why would you
try
have
to
that
grab try to
understand?
grab the situation. It's just like me breaking a disheartening news for you.
Yeah.
And in 1 hour you're already done with.
Okay, wait.
But they will still
On the
criticize
final
her,
note.
even if she didn't post it.
Do you even know that? Do you even know that 2 years from now, she comes out later to say she's getting married? You know, people will still drag her.
Yes, they
2 years from now.
Okay, so on a final note, let's do our 30 seconds. Juvie, looking at the impact grieving or mourning has on our mental health, what's your advice? What's your advice to people?
I lost very close persons, and so we deal with it differently as well. Allow people to just breathe. If they like, let them take 2 years. It's their personal affair. Leave them to breathe. It takes a whole lot to, you don't know what's going on in someone's life. If they need 2 years, to let them take their time. If they want to announce it, make it a social issue, let them not make it a social issue. Let people be. Let's stop trying to think we have a right to tell people how to live.
Way. Yeah. How we want people to mourn. Zika, what's your advice to online in-laws, or what do they call them? Online in-laws. Online relatives that are not even related. They will be the first one to post, even if it does not concern them, just to generate traffic to their page. What's your advice?
It is. Let's understand that this is a very heartbreaking moment for some people. Losing someone is very big. It may kill some people, it may make some people mad, and it does a lot to people. So don't do over-sabi. Posting this person has died does not mean, why are you posting somebody died? What are you telling them? What is the like, I don't get why that
this
is.
Person has died also.
This person has died, so what? So let's give people their privacy. They lost someone. So privacy is necessary.
Yes, let's give people their privacy. Delight, okay, what's your advice generally to the consumers of this message? You know, when somebody posts something, some people repost immediately without even confirming. Just like what happened to this former head of state. They won't even confirm. They will just repost, just to also join the trend. What's your advice? You are a social media person. What's your advice?
I'm a social media person. I'm also a Christian, a strong one at that. And when I speak,
Because I think
when I
that's the conversation for another day.
if you want me to back up that point, come, I'll do deliverance for you. Trust me, we save. But the thing is, when I speak, I like to speak from the scripture because that's my own worldview.
But the same Bible says it is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to. I know a little bit of that. Okay.
So when the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, I see it this way. Put yourselves in other people's shoe. What you know you won't be able to handle, do not dish it out to someone else. Okay. It's as simple as that. If you want to understand that short phrase, you can chat me up later.
Okay, so if
I'll
I
explain
like,
you better.
okay. So if I like it, I can do it for others, and if I don't like, I shouldn't do it. Is that what you're trying to say? That's a conversation for me.
You are twisting and whining.
Let me go to succulent babe. Okay, so morning and women, ladies. What's your advice to ladies, to people out there about how to mourn, when to mourn, and the right time for mourning?
Trusting mourning cannot be overridden. Nobody can advise you how to mourn, when to mourn, where to mourn. But there's something I believe. Why not clinch on to that happy moment? Hold on to that happy moment. Let it live in your heart forever. And feel like the person is still alive in you. Instead of mourning and then going into depression and then having mental breakdown.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. I think this is also very, very important. We should know that we will send our condolence to anybody who have lost somebody so close to them. We want to send our condolence to you. And we want you to understand that life is not ending. You still have a life to live. In fact, focus more on the achievement of that person. Focus more on the family. Focus more on what that person left behind. Don't allow your money time to make the investment of that person to go into waste. I think for me, that is it. Okay, we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll go straight into the second topic. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the show, The Banter, and we are still right on this table. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Send in your comments, send in your reactions to all these topics, and we're going to read it, and we're going to read it. So let's go straight into the second topic for the day. Let me quickly read this. Officials from the London Academy Business School and University of Sunderland are seeking NUC's approval to offer degree programs in Nigeria, potentially enhancing educational access and international academic standards in the country. So the story is all about some universities based in London wanting to establish a campus, establishing some of their universities in Nigeria. Now, this to me is a good news. Yes, it's a good news because
it's a welcome development.
It's like one of our guys. It's a welcome, and these are the real issues that we must actually talk about. Okay, so let me start from Juvie. All right. This news, the first time you saw this news, what comes to your mind?
Well, I think for me it was business. Nigeria is big market. Nigeria is your biggest market in Africa.
Was anyways.
Yes, it's big, and we're not doing so.
I'm not so bad.
No, I've not said anything. I've not said anything. Yes, in terms of human capacity, but I hope we also, because if outsiders are beginning to see opportunities, a business school, there is Lagos Business School. There are other business schools here. Oh, it's quite true. There are business schools and so if Sunderland, a school in Sunderland is looking at establishing a degree course in Nigeria, obviously you're going to drag market from the existing people. And so when you get these people, and you know how some other people think, there was a time, Bajabia Miller, he went to, during ASU strike, he was at Harvard Business School. And so they are thinking, instead of your political elite, no, he went for a course and all. And so instead of you guys coming out there, let's bring it to you. All right? And they've got standard and they think they want to. And we've got standard as well. I think one of our problems is learning to keep the standard for.
Okay. We will keep the standard, and we are keeping the standard. Succulent, let me come to you. Now, we have some companies that, in fact, we have some scholarships for Nigerians that is being sponsored by ministries and agencies. Now, rather than sending these people abroad to study, what they are going, Yorubas will say, what we are looking for outside is already with us. So rather than spending money abroad to send these people abroad, the universities are now here. Is this not a good news? Is this not going to increase our income as a country?
Definitely. Okay. Because I feel them setting up a school here is a welcome development. The economy will begin to grow. But don't forget that they are even fishing in your own pond. They are making money off. They are making money off your own economy. How? This is Nigeria is a money.
But they will be paying. They might be paying in naira. You understand? They might be paying in naira.
The question is, how many Nigerians do you know that leave the country just only to attend school alone? That is, school is just their sole purpose of leaving the country.
Okay. I can't get the figure right. But I'll say much.
Okay, let's restrict. Let me restrict it. Okay. I know that you've had friends that travel abroad, and you've spoken with them. How many of them have you seen that their sole intent of traveling or relocating was just to go and school there and come back?
Well, you might not
to come back, not to come back, but not to travel and school and start
I want you to know this.
If they are not going there to go and school, how are you then sure that if they set the school here, people are going to attend? I'm not saying people are not going to attend the school. I'm not saying people are not going to attend.
In the UK,
but
you come and set up a school.
How will they make money?
The tuition fee will not be that high. Trust me.
Yeah, so they will.
Guys,
let's take it to another level.
If the tuition fee is going to be high, how many people are going to attend? If it's going to be high, how many people are going to attend?
Fortune. Let's take the conversation to another angle. Let's talk about skill development now, and reduction in unemployment. Bringing these schools to Nigeria will have a significant reduction in unemployment because they can't bring all their people from there. They're going to get people here. So, is this not a good news for us? Should we not celebrate?
How many schools will come that will affect our number of employment rates?
Thank you.
Should we not celebrate for a start?
Well, this is getting bigger and better. It is a very good welcome development. So, it is going to really help us if we behave ourselves.
How?
This, like I said, is going to help in unemployment. It is going to improve our education standard. It's going to make us think far. Because a UK school or a school abroad is coming down here to set up in this country. You as a Nigerian cannot see a school grow. You cannot.
Okay. Don't worry. You say it.
This school is coming to grow in our country.
Why Nigeria?
You can
exactly because they
do you know that if this school has gone to set up in Ghana, you will complain.
Yes, you will blame the government that they are not attracting investors. But I think that conversation should be for Delight. That conversation should be for Delight. So let's bring this, Delight. Let's bring this to you. The government are trying to attract woo investors, and we have seen this playing out from the visits of our president to other countries. Even the recent one to Dubai. We're still hoping that good news will come out of it and it will come. Now, are you not seeing this from the angle of government trying to woo investors?
Well, to me, I don't see everything as a profit gain investment. You can do an investment and it won't yield any profits. And you can do an investment and it will yield profit. Now, the question is you have to look at the factors around what's happening in the nation. We were on this same show where we discussed the increment of school fees in federal universities, and we were talking about how there are many Nigerians who cannot pay for the university. And now you are having another country who is coming. Mind you that there's an affiliate of their university there. Yes. So the school fees is not going to be much different. So it's just going to be a conversion rate.
But we have some schools in Nigeria that are paying more. We have some. Okay. Yes, I know. I know. Okay. Okay. Continue.
But what I'm saying is this. You have private universities and you have federal universities. Now, mind you, if ASU were not going on strike, the federal universities will be more. In fact, the more should be times 100 populated than the private universities. Some parents are working their ass off to keep their children in private so that they don't end up spending 7 years, 6 years, 8 years in a course of 4 years in the federal universities. That's the only reason they are there. If they're left to them, if there was no extension of longer terms, people who have been in this thing. Because I have many of my friends that switched to private because of this issue. That's why I'm speaking on my claim now. So that Juvie will not attack me and say, what claim am I speaking on? So the question is this. If the private universities are not fully booked, how are you then sure that people will be able to register into these new schools that are coming? And how are you? And another question is, how are you sure that it will generate money for the country?
Directly, indirectly.
How are you also sure that it will generate employment rate for the country?
So let me come to Juvie. Let me come to Juvie. This new development, don't you think it's a way of it's going to enhance cultural transfer? Because when they come to Nigeria, they will be used to our culture. They will be introduced to our culture. You understand? And since it's on our own land, they will have more access and more visibility to our culture. Don't you think this is a right step?
Well, I don't know how that will play out because the UK embassy is here, and you don't know for how much of the cultural transference has been happening or transfer. And so a school, whether it's the business school or from the Sunderland, they are here to make money. That is the long and short of it. They know there is a ready market in Nigeria. And so they just came to explore that market. Whether we will take advantage of them coming, it's a different ballgame. How about we think it this way? How about we take Nigerian schools, the ones that are doing well? Let's go to their countries and see if we can establish something.
I think this might be a starting point for that. This might be a starting point for that. Let me go to Zika. I think we have been told that we have limited time. Now, will this not reduce the Japa syndrome?
Japa syndrome. Well, this does not mean that people that want to run away will not run away. The school, not everybody that travels out for school. So, they won't reduce anything. But let us embrace ourselves. They are bringing their school to us. Let us not for our hand. Let's improve. Because it's a challenge to us. It's a big challenge to our universities. It's a big challenge to all our tertiary institutions. It's a big challenge. Okay. Most of the best doctors in the world, Nigerians are one of them. Woo!
Now that they can train here, I think it's going to be better. Okay, so Amaka, let's talk about more. People have been complaining that when they send their children abroad, they become wayward and all those stuffs. Now, you can now have your children trained in a foreign, in a school that is not owned by Nigeria, that is owned by you understand? Will this not help them to improve more on their morals? No. Especially for those who want their kids to be around them. You know, when you are not around your parents, when you are you are in Nigeria as a parent, you're in Nigeria and you have your kids abroad, you see them once in a while. But now that you are in Nigeria, you understand, you can easily walk to the school, drive to the school and tell, I need to see my child. How is it fair? You understand? Don't you think?
No. We're in Gen Z body age.
So
it won't change anything.
You can even be schooling inside your house and still be the body they want to be.
Yeah. Even worse. Change what? Oh, because they are... no, it's not changing anything. It's not. Everybody's keying into the Gen Z body age, so everybody's body now. So it's not changing anything.
Okay, on a final note, Delight, let's talk about the competition this university will have with other private institutions in the country, because you never can tell. It's going to happen because there are universities and there are universities. You understand? And when you have competition, it improves quality. When you know that somebody can do better than you, you tend to improve yourself more. Don't you think Nigerian universities will see this as a challenge to do more?
I don't see this this university as a challenge to other Nigerian universities. I only see it as an avenue for Nigerians that like showcasing their wealth, for them to showcase more. Because obviously when it comes, tuition fee is going to be high. It's going to be, in fact, it may be tagged. It may be tagged.
I'm very sure those universities, I'm very sure universities, I'm sure
they are not coming.
will give out.
They are not coming to do. They are not coming to do CMS for us now. They are not coming to do Christian mission.
Okay.
They are bringing their this thing. So what I'm saying is
They're
this.
going to take our teachers as well.
What I'm saying is, I'm not. You took my time now. You want to pass the question again?
I'm the anchor, so I can.
I will stop
But don't
observing all this.
But don't let me do that. Okay, so on the final note.
What I'm saying is this. It's just going to be an avenue for Nigerians that like showcasing their wealth to showcase more. People that know that their hand will not reach, will not go. They will remain where they are. Because although I don't see it as something that will reduce the Japa syndrome, because most people do not travel abroad for. In fact, school is a medium.
Okay, guys, it has been a very interesting show today. And for me, I think this is a welcome development, just like we have said. But I think implementation is a concern. It's key. I will advise the government to mandate them, to give them a particular percentage of Nigerian lecturers that should be there. It should not just be filled with their own staff. They should give them staff. It should not be just their own staff. They should give the host communities, the host country more stake. And I think it is high time they ask people to buy shares into this university so that we can also have a stake. Okay, so on this note, we'll be ending this the conversation on this particular topic. But I think this is a continue, because as time goes by, we'll begin to see the practicality of this decision. But we'll come back here to discuss it and see the impact it will have. Okay, so guys, the final topic, let's quickly take that before our time. Let's quickly take time. A few years ago, we have some professions, we have some jobs that are meant for, not meant for some particular gender, but the people doing those jobs are basically from a particular gender role, a particular gender. Maybe like a male or a female. But nowadays we see even guys doing what people think that guys can't do. I'm talking in place of jobs now. So, and we're going to be looking at it from the aspect of, is it that we are becoming more aware of who we are, or we want to explore, or we are seeing as an avenue to shy away or to move away from poverty? Juvie.
Well, man will need to eat, man must walk. When a man walking go chop. Every job you ask women, there are some jobs way back in the 80s, 1800s, all right, before the old suffragettes, the women rights thing started out. Even before, during the Second World War, was when you had more women go to industries to work some particular kind of jobs. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some particular kind of jobs, because men were going to war and there were shortage of hands to handle some. And so women had to get into stuff, because women ordinarily were into administrative, either they were secretaries and what have you, they were cooking and stuff. And so over time we have evolved as people. You'll find women presidents, even in Africa. Tanzania has one, Liberia used to have one, and on. So, are there jobs meant for a particular gender? Yes or no? It's debatable. With what's happening between Israel and Palestinian right now, I don't want any woman to be at the, I mean, going, some could fly, yes, but you be careful to get your women as your foot soldiers in wars. All right?
Yes, that's quite understandable. But Delight, would you prefer a lady barb your hair?
Over time, we've had issues of gender equality, inequality. Sorry, we've had issues of that, and I think gradually the world is aging and things are changing. I'll give you an example. I was working on the island and I got to a site where they were demolishing a building, and I found out that the crew that were working there were women. Now, yes, the men were just standing and watching. They were the ones doing the shovel, packing the sand, doing all this bricklaying work. And back then, in 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you hardly find. I think the question we should be asking is, who founded these gender roles to jobs? Who started it? Now, I see it this way. I just feel that some women felt that, oh, this job may be too tedious for them. So, you know, once your parents start something, as a child, when you see them do something and you see what they don't do, you may tend to bend your way and your life to it. It's now when you become older that you start breaking out of it and start changing. Now, maybe when people were growing, the world was aging, people saw that, oh, women do not do this. Let me not be the first to start. But I think we are coming beyond that age, and we are coming out of it now. And there are men who barb, there are men who plait hair, there are women who barb, there are women who plait hair. So those things before were not, but we are gradually going beyond it now. And I see it as a good development for more profit to be earned by both genders.
Okay, so Amaka, let me throw this to you. When a child is growing up, maybe a male child is growing up, and you begin to see the child showing interest in the other gender role, maybe like you see a little boy coming out to back baby, no, don't do it. The parents say, don't do it. Or you see him plaiting hair, you say, don't do it. In fact, you even buy a doll, a female doll for that son. You understand? Now, do you think that this is right thing to do, or let's just allow people do what they feel can bring them money legitimately?
Traditionally, back in the past, we used to see it as something wrong. But now we have embraced it. As they rightfully said, we are promoting gender equality here. What a man can do, a man can do. Let's not use better. Let's live the better. So I don't see anything wrong in maybe a man plaiting a woman's hair, or a woman barbing a man's hair, or a lady being a plumber.
Would you prefer a guy plaiting your hair?
Yes, if he's good, he can make my hair.
And if he has muscles, right?
And 6 packs.
Okay. So what you're saying is that we should allow people do what they think they can do better, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, that's good. Zika, what's your take on this generally? What's your take on this? Where do you belong?
Well, it is a welcome development. I would prefer, sincerely, I would prefer a lady, a female, barbing my hair. It would be nice to see a female barb my hair.
Why?
What works? Why? Like I said, a welcome development. Let's leave it there. So do what works for you well. No, but there's nothing like, when I was about to enter mass comm, I was saying it's a female's job, it's a female's side. Don't go. I had my aunties, I would drag them, my aunties. But it's not what, there's nothing gender. God did not create someone and say this is for women and this is for men. Do what works for your body.
Okay. So Juby, let's talk to morals. I've seen people who tell you, I won't allow a male come make my wife's hair. I won't. Because it might not be because of my wife, but because of the children.
All right,
let's speak to morals.
Let me even.
Will this improve?
I think a great deal of it, let's even look at Nigeria. I overheard a conversation up north. a man said he will not allow a male doctor deliver off his wife.
Yes.
Do you get the situation? Because from his background as a staunch Islamist, he felt it's someone breaking some laws, you know, his wife, his naked wife, and so he felt it was, you know, privacy. I mean, your wife, and for some of us we feel, nah. Do you understand? Some of us feel like, well, some people see this as a big deal.
Seriously?
Yes.
So what's your advice to people who see that as a big deal? Because I think our concern should be the health and the wellness of the spouse. You understand? What if there are no doctors of
these are arguments that are tenable, but when a man has the money to afford whatever it is he's saying, he could afford it. But if you don't have the money, then whatever you're saying, it's either you take your wife to Ilewe Omo and to Iyagbemi to take care of that. I mean, Nigeria is complex, and you know, the way we are as a nation makes that sometimes when you get to some places, you be careful how they do their things. All right? Up north, women wear trousers, and it's very regular. I mean, the first time I saw girls wear trousers to secondary school, I was like, what? Because back home, girls wear skirts and pinafore. But there was like, cool. And I got used to it. All right? But is there something a man can do, a woman cannot do? There are some things men do, and I don't think it's honorable or it's fine to see women do those things, okay?
We'll talk about that. You painted a picture of a site where they were demolishing, and the person who was doing the real work was according to you, were women. Now, let's come from the angle of the irresponsibility of men. People will tell you that it's because the men, they are not responsible, they don't know how to do it. So let us tell them. Are you not encouraging laziness on the other parts?
Question sounds somehow.
That's
you said
it's a question.
No, I know. I'm trying to grab your question. So who is saying that because
okay. Let me make it clear. Let's talk about their remuneration.
Okay.
Now, if you say that because women were the people doing the real work, we pay them more, and we pay the men who are the backup less, are you not thinking that it will come to a time and say, we are men now, we are paid less?
Okay.
And you understand what I'm saying?
First and foremost, if you are going to use that question, you have to use a different work environment. Okay. This is an environment whereby laborers are on duty, and they pay laborers all equal.
Okay. Then if they pay them equal, why can't they push those guys? Is it that it is only the women that have the skill?
I think because the men, I forgot to add this, the men were also dressed, but I think it's a shift. Okay. You know, everybody cannot be working together at once. Okay. But my point was this: I've never seen that kind of scenario before, whereby women, not just one. I've seen African magic that at least one will go. But yes. So, but my point was this: that women were on the site and they were working. That was my point.
There is a shift there. Oloko, the women, the caterers, you find guys now turning amala and all that. So
I've done that before.
So that's where this issue is coming from.
That one needs a lot of strength.
Okay, so guys, in 30 seconds, Zika, you've said it earlier that you prefer a lady barb your hair
That's on my side.
On your side. Okay, so what?
You have to explain to me why.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to take it. So this is an advert to any lady, any woman that is doing this business. Come, bring the business to Souk. Yeah. You already have a customer now. You already have a customer. It's going to barb it.
I will definitely I will definitely patronize you.
Can you see? You have another. Juvi, are you going to patronize such?
No, I prefer young men.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't even understand this guy.
Okay, Succulent, would you
I have to say.
Wait, Succulent, would you prefer a lady barb the hair of your guy, you don't have any issue with that?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. On the final note, Fortune.
So do what works for you. Well, me, I won't prefer a man giving birth to my child. But you understand that?
As a doctor.
We are not dragging that part, but do what works for you best. But don't touch my.
Okay, guys, so it has been an interesting show, like you can see it, and these are very, very important issues that happen in the society, and we have discussed it. Guys, you're welcome to let us know what you feel about this issue. Send it to us, your comments and your feedback on all our various social media platforms. And do you know, even somebody has even given you, the ladies out there, this is kind of job that you can do and you will earn more money. But when you want to do that, bring it to Souk.
People will patronize you.
Yes, they will patronize you more. Like. So bring the business to Souk. Let's help you to. Okay, on this note, I want to say thank you to the guys behind the camera and to our able producer. We say thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. On that, we'll be calling it a day. We'll be trying to cut in on this show. But don't forget to join us tomorrow on this show. Bye.